I know why you're here. You wanna know if it's good. Well, it's good. Today we are looking at the Certina DS Action Diver in 38mm, which is possibly the smartest choice of 2021 in terms of diving watches, but allow me to show you why. Compared to what we reviewed from the brand, the DS Action collection offers to the enthusiasts a modern approach. This piece is part of the Aqua collection, and to my knowledge it should be at the 3rd generation. The purpose of the DS Action family is to serve as modern tool watches for divers, looking ahead rather than behind to the Heritage collection. In this regard, they are built based on the ISO diving standards, being available in various sizes and materials, stainless steel or titanium. Now, the new line, the 38mm, is cheating a bit to the purpose or the mission of the 43mm diver, because this one connects very well the modern lines with the classic divers of the 60s and the 70s. The purpose of this tiny action diver being to fit better to the current demand, to the actual preferences of the audience. It is very smart made. Strategically speaking, this watch arrives somewhere in the middle of the battle between classic reissues, affordable micro brands and iconic names. This is currently the heat map of preferences in diver watches. For example, price-wise, it is slowly above micro brands' price range, costing around 700 euros on retail. However, the quality compared to the micro brands is undoubtedly better. It provides a superior movement, great finishing and the assurance of the turtle on the caseback. Identity-wise, as I said, it borrows some dial elements from the modern DS Action Diver, but the case is redesigned in the spirit of the classic divers, using similar accents as the Gilt watches, but follows the same design language of the brand. And size-wise, the 38mm plays very well on the league of the Black by 58, the Yema Superman, Squale Sub 39, and the list is longer than that. To deep dive in my thoughts, I specifically asked Certina for this model. I fell in love with this green gold diver since the beginning. I know that for some people the bicolor scheme can be too much, but in my view this is a courageous option that provides elegance and style. So before we talk about the main quality of this watch, let's size up this beauty. So the magic happens on the wrist. It has a compact lug-to-lug distance and a reduced height, unveiling a well-proportioned case. It stays very well on the wrist, creating more space to the skin to breathe on top and on the bottom of the watch. This is a feeling that I've never experienced with a watch and made me doubt about my preferences in terms of the wrist sizing. So on a 7-inch wrist can and will work a 42 to 45mm watch easily, but the ideal proportion in my view is this 38mm case. So yes, I find this DS Action Diver as the smartest choice of 2021 in terms of wearability and value. There are different colors available, blue, black, green or two-tone in the same color scheme, plus the newest reissue, the DS Action Diver Sea Turtle Conservancy Special Edition. A beautiful bicolor made in gold and blue tones with a sunburst dial and a different turtle on the caseback, the Sea Conservancy organization logo. So I'm definitely placed in a difficult situation now to choose between these two models, the green gold tone or the blue gold special edition. And looking at the specs, the stainless steel case has a 38mm in diameter, a spectacular lug-to-lug distance of only 45mm, a height of 12.2mm and a lug width of 19mm. We have a sapphire crystal, an aluminium bezel insert and a depth rating of 300 meters, the watch offering an ISO 6425 compliance and a solid movement, the Powermatic 80. This is a superior ETA movement with a 80-hour power reserve and a Nivacron anti-magnetic balance spring. So reduced in size, yes, but not reduced in capacities. 300 meters depth rating at this size, that's insane. So the case is covered in a fully satin brush, a refined kind of brush that does not mute the case. The stainless steel block is defined by geometrical and rounded corners. From the top we are perceiving the case as a classic oyster style, where on the right hand side you can spot every facet that forms the crown guards, interrupted chromatically by the crown sign with the double security logo. Above the case we have a unidirectional coinage bezel in a gold tone, allowing the crown to communicate with the central link of the bracelet. On top we have a green aluminium insert, coated on a beautiful dark green, sufficient to contradict the minute and the numerals from the bezel painted in gold. And between the sapphire crystal and the bezel there is a discrete gold inner border that outlines better the bezel markers, and ties up the chromatic scheme and ensures a classy 60s-70s look of the diver. And underneath the case we have the beautiful turtle logo, the icon of Certina that represents the symbol of longevity and robustness, an icon that I prefer to have laying on my wrist when I choose a Certina watch. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel for future updates, it really helps. Thank you. Now the dial remains faithful to the 43mm version. They have the same identity from the hands to the indexes. However, because of the reduced size and the gold tone, it does not look sporty as the bigger brother, but simpler and classy. The same happens to the non-bicolor version, a simpler, effective dial without any other color accent. The dial offers us a matte black surface and serves very well as a base for the gold indexes and the hands. And looking at the chapter ring height, we can spot how close is the dial to the crystal, a cool touch made by Certina to make room for the Powermatic caliber 80-611, keeping the height of the watch well proportioned. The dial is balanced at 12 and 6 o'clock, an accent that balances the white loomed markers. However, I would have loved to have the Certina logo painted in gold as the ceramic DSPH 200M. And I appreciate the finishing of the hands, very well made without defects. We can spot how well finished is the second hand in the reflection of the minute hand. The loom of this DS Action Diver is very good, I can say already typical for Certina divers. However, it feels that the hands and the loom pip seem to be better charged compared to the dial indexes. And identity-wise, the bracelet complements very well the case. The bicolor gold tone of the middle links continues the accent of the crown and the bezel. Both tones are, as well as the case, finished on a satin brush, an accent that makes the gold tone not to look shiny when exposed to the sun, but better. Allow me to show you a few photos to see how well it blends with green tone clothes. The bracelet tapers from 19mm to 17, closing into an 18mm short clasp with pushers and a safety clasp, and 2 micro adjustment points and a diver extension. Inside we have the reliable movement Powermatic 8611 with a power reserve of 80 hours and a Nivacron anti-magnetic balance spring made out of titanium, being reliable to temperature variations and shock resistance. And to conclude, no matter what color you like, there is no wrong option here. The Certina DS Action Diver offers the sporty qualities of its bigger brother, being an ISO 6425 diver, with the elegance, the comfort and the sizing of the early iconic divers. And that it's certain. What is also certain, the Certina DS Action Diver 38mm qualifies as a brave beater, taking the position number 25 in the Hall of Fame, mainly because Certina offers here a smart package, a well-built, affordable and comfortable diver. These are some attributes hard to beat in my view. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm really curious to know what do you think about this Certina DS Action Diver in 38mm. Please let me know in the comments down below. And I wanted to thank once again Certina for sending this watch for review. I really appreciate and I'm really grateful for everything they did to the channel. Thank you once again. And as usual, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing for future updates. And until next time, be brave but stay safe.